MICE tourism refers to business travel for the purposes of meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions. It is a tourism subsector that is still in its baby stages.
MICE is generally used in an emerging MICE destination as MICE, but destinations that have matured, they often use the events industry, the business events industry, but in an emerging destination we use MICE such that our community are able to differentiate what is in M, what is in I, what is in C, what is in E.
Figures from the Uganda Convention Bureau indicate that MICE tourism generated $6 million from 43 conferences hosted in the country last year.
So out of the 43, 19 were association meetings. So that's why we ranked the 7th minus the government meetings. But I can see this year we will rank better because our goal as UTB is to ensure that we are among the 5 top destinations.
In January this year, Uganda hosted the 27th Commonwealth Speakers Conference. In the same month, Uganda also hosted the Non-Aligned Movement and the G77 Plus China Summits. Hosting these conferences boosted Uganda's visibility as a potential destination for global conferences and events.
We are now putting in bids for bigger conferences. We used to limit ourselves on the kind of meetings or conferences we would bid for because of the capacity. Now we have capacity, that can seat very many in one room at the convention center. So we are actually going for the bigger conferences now.
The International Congress and Convention Association has over the last 5 years ranked Uganda in the top 10 African destinations for hosting international conferences and events.
And so when they ranked Uganda last year, we ranked 7 on the African continent, and Kampala as a city in the city ranking ranked 4 in Africa.
No, definitely the hosting fees is a factor, but also what is important is that at the Uganda Convention Bureau we do the cost-benefit analysis.
Through MICE tourism, Uganda wants to position itself among the top 5 most popular destinations in Africa for hosting international conferences and events. But achieving this feat in a short or a long term will not come cheaply.
MICE has not really been mined according to its potential. We see the potential, we see what it has done for Rwanda, what it has done for Kenya, what it has done for South Africa. We still haven't yet been able to really get that potential in Uganda for very many issues. Accessibility. If you have an event now like we are going to have CAF in 2020, the first thing we need is accessibility. We need domestic flights. There are VIPs, VVIPs who will not want to spend 3 or 4 hours on the road, who will want to be able to fly to Hoima for those matches. We want to be able to have a very organized transportation system. If you have a conference in Kampala, the borders are clearly an embarrassment and a mess.
So, for instance, we've been asking government to invest heavily in tourism infrastructure. And by tourism infrastructure, I mean road networks, road networks and airports.
Dr. Julius Byeruhanga, the Director Policy Advocacy at Private Sector Foundation Uganda, advises government to make some tangible sacrifices for MICE tourism to thrive.
You're talking about hotel industry. How many rooms do we have, for instance, between 4-star and 5-star hotel rooms do we have in Kampala? Less than 1,000. So you want to increase tourism potential, but you're increasing the cost of housing. So how do you expect now investors to invest in the private sector, to invest in high-end hotels?
It is crystal clear that MICE tourism has the potential to boost Uganda's economy. But do guests get value for their money when we host them? How many of them come back and how many events return to the country?
The strategy we are using as well is really to get the different ministries and agencies of government. We have done education program with them to make them aware of what maize is, the importance of it.
But still, there is more that needs to be done. We still need government to invest more in marketing of this country. We need a bigger marketing budget. We need a bigger budget for maize.
The global maize market is projected to reach $1.4 trillion in 2025 and $1.7 trillion in 2030. For Uganda to claim its fair share of this market, it has to do more than the ordinary, and that means investing more in its destination enablers. Diano Olweny, UBC News.